Gentlemen, we'd like to call the Redevelopment Commission public meeting for March 7th to order. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Carnahan?
Here.
Ms. Rivera is not with us at this time. Mr. Recupero?
Here.
Mr. Miller?
Present.
Ms. Sheehan? Present. Ms. Haskell is here. Mr. Vassar?
Here.
Mr. Sharp?
Here.
Mr. Foreman?
Present.
Ms. Stanford? Here. Mr. Salata?
Present.
Mr. Austin?
Present.
And Margaret here for Cheryl Heidi.
Very good. Thank you very much. Cheryl. First up tonight, we'd like to do a presentation. As many of you in the audience know, we do these through the Redevelopment Commission, Explore Everyday Community Recognition. This particular award is going to a business that prior to him coming to the community was tattered and torn, not very functional, and he's done amazing things with it and created a little bit of economic development and a destination place for the town of Cedar Lake, especially in the summertime. So without further ado, I'd like to recognize our recipient, Bugaboo's Bar and Grill, via the Redevelopment Commission Recognition Award Program. I'd like to quickly read a paragraph or two from the letter. It starts off, Dear Mr. Frey, on behalf of the Redevelopment Commission of Cedar Lake, I would like to express our thanks to you and your team for an excellent community service you provided the town of Cedar Lake and Bugaboo's Bar and Grill. Our town motto is Explore Every Day. This has multiple meanings, but one of which I'm convinced to explore the features of the town, linger with family and friends, and this business that you've created enables residents and visitors of our town to explore and linger that. During tonight's meeting, the commissioners have nominated and approved your business for commendation, and we wanted to highlight your achievements. As we know, those of us in the town know, Bugaboo's makes a donation that helps in the town's Labor Day Fest, Easter egg hunt, trunk or treat, as well as supports various athletic activities in the town of Cedar Lake. To that end, we remit a resolution of thanks to you and your staff for all the hard work and your hometown values, which align and define the heart of the town and our mission of honoring and celebrating families in our community. Thank you to your contribution to Cedar Lake, Mr. Dunn. I'll walk around and present it. Bob cut me off and doesn't let me come through anymore. Sure.
Yes, I do.
We'll stand in front of the logo.
Okay. And are we going to have the whole town council like the...
No, if you guys want to, we can.
I think we all...
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it, Bob. I'll present it with the whole council around.
Well, thank you. I appreciate this. Honestly, you guys make it so easy for me. I mean, every time I have an idea or try to do something, you guys always work with me and
She's getting it.
give me the opportunity
Margaret.
to make changes. So
I gotta
thank
move
you.
it anyway.
Excellent.
Oh, righty. Well done.
So Colleen, you get on that side, Nick and Bob, come on over here. Yeah, let's get one picture of me handing him the certificate, maybe shaking his hand, and then we'll do a photo op.
Are we waiting for?
And then we'll get ready for the photo op. We'll let you hold that.
Okay, everybody say explore every day.
There you go.
Every day.
Such enthusiasm.
We should be on the deck at once.
Yeah.
Right? Thank you much.
Thank you, Don. Thanks, bud. Okay. You're making a mess up there.
More fun time.
You're being able to live
We did initially, but then...
We need to get one of those portable ones, like the parks get got.
That's right.
Parks for monasteries.
Yeah.
We don't have that kind of resource. The marketing ceiling, I don't know what to flip me to marketing.
Okay, moving along, consent agenda. First, before we do that, do we have any public comment on items that are on the agenda? Any public comment? Once, twice? Public comment is closed for that. Moving into the consent agenda, approval for February 7th, 2023 regular meeting minutes. Claims fund number 404, $212.93, and fund 804, $227.50. Do we have a motion?
I'll make
for
a
the
motion
approval
to
of
approve the
consent?
minutes.
Motion by Colleen,
I'll second it.
second by Ralph Miller. Roll call, please.
Jen, do you have any comments on the claims or anything?
No, there was only one claim payable out of each fund, and it was regular business items.
Okay.
And, yeah, there was earphones for the one Bob, and I think Fund 804 was,
It would have been Mr. Austin's bill for the previous.
yeah, $227.50 for the Fund 804.
Well, when Nathan Viss had the redevelopment commission, he
Yeah.
kind of went over them, so that's why I referred to Jen.
You bet, yeah. So number 4 was for Cheryl Hayduk for the earbuds for the office, and then 804, Bob, was Oceankaiper and Josias for the month of January.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Roll call, please.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Recupto?
Yes?
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes.
Mr. Foreman?
Yes. Motion carries. 6-0. Thank you. Moving into new business, do we have any more Explore Everyday Community Recognition nominations by anybody here on the council?
Mr. President, I would like to nominate Hoosier Postal Plus in town on Wicker Avenue, Mike and Lynn.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Any other nominations for any other community awards from anyone on the commission? Okay, we have a recommendation for nominating Hoosier Postal. Do we have a motion?
Nick made the motion.
Oh,
and I
I'm sorry,
seconded.
Nick? Yeah. Bob just seconded it, sorry. Roll call, please.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Recupito?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes.
Mr. Foreman?
Yes, motion carries 6-0, thank you.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
And approval of, item number 2 under new business, approval of special agreement with Summer Winds Commercial Development. Pull that up. This is, Chris, do you want to add anything on this, or is this is development agreement, correct?
Yeah, so this is kind of a continuation of some motion that was made at the last Redevelopment Commission in 2022 for Summer Winds Development, the commercial development over there. Originally, the proposal or the motion was for $270,000 for infrastructure that was placed in that development by the developer. We've already cut a check for $10,000 as of, I believe, May 18th, 2022. And so this is a pay schedule for the remaining amounts, as you see within the table here, that goes from 2023 all the way down to 2029. That goes between $19,000 to $18,500.
Okay. And if folks in the audience, this is for distribution of TIF district funds, which was acted upon when he built that development.
Correct.
Very good, thank you. Do we have a motion for item number 2, approval of the special agreement?
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion by Bob Carnahan, second by Colin Sheehan. Roll call, please.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Recupito?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes.
Mr. Foreman?
Yes, motion carries 6-0, thank you. And I didn't see any written communication on my behalf. Do we have anything online, Jen?
No hands are raised.
Chris?
No written communication.
None? Before we go to public comment, I'd just like to say that a few of us went down yesterday on behalf of the Redevelopment Commission to Carmel, Indiana, and we met with they actually have a small organization within their Redevelopment Commission, and they've done an incredible job over the last 20-plus years of creating TIF bonding and building various size projects from, I'll say, $5 million to over $100 million. And we learned quite a bit about the advantages of TIF, including giving back to the schools, even though there's some misconceptions on that subject matter. But it was very educational. The gentleman that we met with was very generous with his time, took quite a few questions. We met all morning yesterday morning, and then we traveled back in the afternoon. So definitely beneficial, things that I think the town of Cedar Lake certainly can benefit from, especially with us being kind of a new old town, having a lot of growth and development now starting to happen after many, many years of being established as a community. So I would say look for some neat ideas to come out of that, perhaps in various parts of our community, and more to follow as we speak on that subject. But if anybody else wanted to mention anything that they saw or that
Kind of explain what you saw down there.
You bet. So we saw different concepts that they've done with parking garages that are surrounded by facades. In almost all instances, they give free parking. Their theory is to create businesses and then let the business people park in these garages during the day, and in the evening, some of the condos and apartments are there for the people that are working during the day, perhaps outside the community. So it's a shared parking garage. They do a sweet job of connecting these various TIF districts with walking paths, spurring economic activity, spurring walking, not necessarily jumping in the car and going from one end of a strip mall to another end, because in the long, 50 years from now, strip malls all deteriorate and look somewhat terrible. You know, they brought up an analogy of a Walmart tearing down or building a Walmart across the street from another one. What do you do when the parking lot's tattered and torn and the building's old and gray and everything else? Whereas properly planning allows you to create a destination and a walking community. So we have different areas in our community that I think would fit well, and so we hope to have some discussions on this subject matter later, some of which could exist on and around the lake, some interconnectivity with walking paths, and some of the new ideas that are being discussed. We have the US 41 corridor that we've just increased our TIF on. We have some industrial parks happening, if you will, on the south side, which will add commercial. We all know that in the state of Indiana, commercial pays assessed valuations a little bit higher than residents. And so by TIFing it, we can grow that district and capture the growth and utilize that growth to help the community and better the town. So there's other areas. For one, the area where we're sitting today, you guys may all recall we put some grand plans together a few years ago and tried to get something like this off the ground. It always requires a public-private partner. So there is absolutely interesting ways to do economic development, working with a partner where you utilize the TIF dollars to extend the infrastructure, help build some of the establishments and that sort of thing. But we saw, Bob, from hotels being built on the part of Carmel as a 50% partner, which I think exceeded 60 or right around $60 million to outdoor spaces, public spaces, and walking paths along what they call the Monon Trail, which kicked that whole project off like 25 years ago, maybe in the late 90s by the original mayor that had this concept. But it was very enlightening. I've seen things on it. When the town has sent me down to IAC conferences, which is now called AIM, Advancing Indiana Municipalities, I've watched different awards get presented to Carmel. So it was nice to be behind the curtain and see what exactly they've done and how they've done it. So hopefully we as a RDC, Redevelopment Commission, can try to propel some of these concepts.
And who runs the thing?
The gentleman's name, he works for the mayor. There's a few people within it. Henry was his first name. What is his last? Metesky, yeah, is the gentleman that runs their organization. So that's who was kind enough to take time out of his schedule, get permission from the city, and spend time with us. So,
He was very informative.
if anyone else wants to add anything, feel free.
We also got to experience numerous roundabouts,
What did he have, like 121 or something?
145.
145.
Yeah, it was, very educational, and Chris, thank you for setting it up.
Yeah, thank you, Chris.
Any other comments from anybody else that went?
I think John pretty well covered it.
Yeah, John pretty well covered it.
Okay.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome. So we're moving along, public comment. We now have public comment for anybody that would like to bring up anything, not necessarily connected to the agenda. Going once on normal public comment, twice. Okay, public comment now is closed. And without more to say, it looks like it's 6:48 adjournment time. Meeting is adjourned.
Public meeting for March 7th, 2023 is called to order. Please stand for the pledge and a moment of silence. Chief Fisher, we lost a state trooper last week, and if you could...
And Rick, if we could, I did it at the Plan Commission, but let's remember retired Ed Prater, who passed, and former town council member Pam Pittman.
Very good. We'll do that, Bob, and I think Chief Fisher has a little detail on the state trooper.
Yes, Council, Indiana State Master Trooper James Bailey was killed in the line of duty this week, was struck and killed by a car during the storm that was going on down south, blocking some roads off. Also, would like to remember Chicago police officer Andreas Vasquez Lasso, who was feloniously assaulted and killed in the line of duty this week, along with retired lieutenant from the Cedar Lake Police Department of 27 years, passed away this past week, Ed Prater. So if we can remember them in a moment of silence as well.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Chief. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. Roll call, please, Jen.
Robert Carnahan,
Here.
Julie Rivera is absent. Nick Recupido,
Here.
Ralph Miller,
Present.
Colleen Sheehan,
Here.
John Foreman,
Present.
Richard Sharp,
Here.
I am present, Chris Gladys,
Present.
David Austin.
Present.
Thank you. Begin tonight with a couple of presentations. The first one is to presentation to NIC, Nick, Northwest Indiana Cancer Kids. Chief Fisher.
Council members, in 2018, the Cedar Lake Police Department began its first fundraiser, commonly known as Beards Battling Cancer. That year, we raised just over $3,000 for the St. Jude Children's Hospital. For several years, we continued this, donating to St. Jude's, which, as all of you are, charging nothing for the parents or the children during their treatment. With some administrative changes in COVID, we missed a couple of years, but this year we brought it back. This year I decided to help our local children out, and we partnered up with Northwest Indiana Kids with Cancer, or better known as NIC. This year, the Cedar Lake Police Department was able to raise $4,000 for the NIC families, and today we would like to present them with this check. I ask that if you have time, go onto their website and read a quick story about Drew and how the foundation became and got started. Today we have Nicole Yarrow. She's the director of NIC, if she wants to come up. And we also have a special guest. We have Blake, who is a Cedar Lake resident and is currently in remission, and his mother, Kim, and I didn't get brother's name? Sean. So we have them, they're recipients of help from NIC Foundation, and they're here.
Awesome. Fantastic stuff.
Sure,
Thank
come
you,
on
guys.
up.
Thank you. Yeah.
We had this check, you might have to take it to the bank, I don't know if they'll clear it. But as you can see, we raised $4,000. The gentlemen back here, all kept their beards going really nice, and I'm kind of a stickler on it, so they kept it really nice and kept it going and did a very good job. Enough that I'm going to let them keep their beards until they're ready to shave them themselves. So I appreciate it, but they all, each one of them donated their own money to the NIC Foundation. They had to do that to get their beards. It was part of the stipulation. So they donated, as well as many community helpers, including the Eagles, who actually got us right over the top. When we got their check, it was our $4,000 landmark. So we had some really big help from some supporters and people that work with the town, and some town employees that I'll keep his name quiet because I'm sure he doesn't want me to mention it, but I greatly appreciate it. He's sitting over there by Deputy Chief. So I appreciate his and his wife's donation to it as well. So on behalf of the Cedar Lake Police Department, we're donating $4,000 to the NIC Foundation.
Thank you very much.
What I would really like to do is bring all my bearded friends up here, and Blake, and if we could get a great big picture. We'll put it right here. I'm going to move this out of the way. this right in the middle, and then all the bearded friends are gonna be in the back. What's up this? Come on, squeeze in here, fellas. Come on. You guys go up front, we'll go behind.
Okay, sounds good.
There you go.
It's a good time to go speeding around the lake, right?
Not everybody grew beard, so those that are, okay, squeeze in for me. Can you guys go inside?
Everybody go at an angle, so we can fit in. There you go.
There you go.
There you go, you guys face that way.
You wanna hold that with me? Tell you what, I'll take, you want me to take a knee? Does that work out?
Yes, I heard it.
All right, good job, guys.
If you need something, you give us a call, guys.
Number's 911.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys all so much. We greatly appreciate it. To everybody, thank you.
See you. Bye-bye.
Definitely.
Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
Yeah, nice job.
Good job, thank you.
That was all done. They did a great job.
Congratulations.
Our second presentation is a proclamation of thanks to Patrick Slory, the Division Chief, retired. John, if you would, please.
I would be happy to. This proclamation goes out to a gentleman, Pat. Is Pat online?
He is on Zoom as well.
Hey, Pat.
Pat Scolari's been a division chief. He's been instrumental to the town of Cedar Lake EMT and fire department and training and helping folks out. So I would like to now read this proclamation. With tremendous respect and gratitude of the Cedar Lake Town Council in recognition of 8 years of dedicated service to the residents and the town of Cedar Lake, commencing as a part-time firefighter and then promoted to a full-time firefighter paramedic and culminating as an EMS division chief, awarded on this 7th day of March 2023 by the Town Council of the town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana. Congratulations, Pat, and I hear you're in the Southland where it's nice and warm right now.
Yeah, it's actually past my bedtime. I stayed up for you guys.
Well, very good. Well,
Congratulations.
just so you know, our town manager will get this mailed off to you, I believe in a frame, so thank you for your service and enjoy retirement.
Okay, thanks. I'd like to thank all of you guys and the overwhelming amount of support I got with my retirement, and Chief Wilkening and all the guys in the department. That actually goes to them as well, because they all worked hard together to culminate a department that's second to none for our size, in my opinion. So
Awesome.
And moving forward, I hope that things went in the right direction for Chief and all the wants and wishes that we need in that department.
You bet.
Whatever it is, budgetary, whatever it is, everybody has to be transparent out there. I still care about what goes on out there, I have friends, family, so you gotta work with Chief and understand that we can't keep chopping him off at the knees like we've been doing through the years. So please work with Chief Wilkening. He eats, sleeps, and he knows that town, and he wants what's best for the citizens of that town.
You bet. And you might recall, though, that we just bonded a healthy sum of money for a new fire department over here on the east side of the lake, so
Yes.
I think it's safe to say we're all pulling the rope in the same direction.
Yeah, at this point in time, I understand it, just as long as we,
Thank
straight she goes, we're full steam ahead,
Yep.
right?
You betcha. Enjoy South Carolina.
Will do, sir. Thank you for everybody.
Thanks, Pat.
If I may, Chief Wilkening has his hand raised.
Okay, Chief? Chief Wilkening?
Hang on, Cliff's unmuting him.
Star 6.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to thank the council and the town manager for putting that proclamation together for Pat. He said some nice things about me, and he didn't have to do that, and I really appreciate that as well. Just goes to show you that we've always been a team, and we all are concerned with the same things. So,
Yes, sir.
Pat, congratulations again, and we'll be coming down. Thanks, Jim.
Okay, I'm probably smoking a cigar before you get here, though.
Yeah, I'll be smoking any cigars for a while.
I hear you. Feel better, sir.
Take care.
Yeah, take care, Chief, thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Chief, and get feeling better.
You guys all be well out there.
Yep,
You bet.
thank you. Okay, we move on to public comment on agenda items only. Public comment? Public comment? Seeing none, we move to consent agenda. Number 1, minutes from the February 21st, 2023 meeting. Claims, all town funds, $799,152.29. Wastewater operating, $379,121.80. Water utility, $52,392.05. Stormwater, $15,650.78. And payroll for March 1st, 2023 and March 2nd, 2023, $375,514.14. Variance of use request from the Department of Parks and Recreation requesting to use the council chambers for the following activities. March 16th, 2023, 5:30 to 6:30, spring soccer coaches meeting. Good deal. B, April 21st, 2023, at 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., extended time from the original approval at activities inception for the rain barrel order drop-off and pickup. Probably could use those right now. And C, June 3rd, 2023, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. for spring soccer photos. Do I have a motion to waive the reading of the minutes and approve the consent agenda as read?
I'll make a motion to waive the reading of the minutes and approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Colleen,
I'll second it.
second by Ralph. Discussion?
Yes, I noticed on the claims that we've got AT&T with several different bills for different departments that are paying for that. Once before I brought this up, do we periodically check other companies to see if we can get a better rate?
So we previously utilized Verizon, but within the last, year and a half, Cliff can correct me if I'm wrong, we actually moved over to AT&T.
Yeah, FirstNet.
How's your signal?
The reason?
It's pretty good. The biggest thing about FirstNet though is it puts emergency services up first, right away, so the town and the police and fire, it puts them at the top, so that if there's an emergency, they get through.
Awesome.
Cool.
So that's part of the reason why you went to that?
The cost of the majority of our things are identical, whether it's Verizon or AT&T, it didn't matter. The airtime and air cards are all identical. They're no different. They charge the same for every government entity, so.
But the service is better?
Haven't any problems, I can tell you that.
You had problems with,
We had some droppage in some areas of town because we live in a big fishbowl. It gets difficult in times, but it's running pretty good. So we haven't had any problems since he upgraded to FirstNet, so.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else? Roll call?
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Nick Ricciuto?
Yes.
Ralph Miller?
Yes.
Colleen Scheven?
Yes.
John Foreman?
Yes.
Richard Sharp?
Yes. Motion carries 6-0. Ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number 1450, police and fire fee schedule ordinance. Chris, please.
Chief, do you want to choose?
Sure, so, I had presented this to the attorney for review. We needed to update our fee schedule, especially because of the WatchGuard video system and public records requests. So we had an opportunity to go through it and put it together for us and get it presented to you guys so that we can adopt it, so that there's a proper fee schedule for everything. We added, I think, the fire department stuff in there, a few things that really, we had multiple locations just from the years of adoption, and now we can put them all into one location.
Very good. Thank you, Chief. Anyone else? Dave, is that?
No, that's it. That's
Okay.
exactly what happened here.
Very good. Thank you. John, would you care to read the
Be
ordinance?
happy to. Town of Clear Lake, Lake County, Indiana, ordinance number 1450. An ordinance amending the schedule of fees charged by the Town of Clear Lake Metropolitan Police Department and the Town of Clear Lake Municipal Fire Department, repealing all ordinances and town code provisions or parts thereof in conflict herewith and all matters related thereto.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve ordinance number 1450?
Motion to approve ordinance number 1450.
I'll second.
Motion by John, second by Colleen. Discussion? Roll call, Jim?
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Nick Recupido?
Yes.
Ralph Miller?
Yes.
Colleen Scheven?
Yes.
John Foreman?
Yes.
Richard Sharp?
Yes, motion carries 6-0.
You can consider this tonight if you want.
Oh, the second reading?
You can consider this if you want. Unanimous first reading approval gives you that right.
Okay, if we can, anybody want to make a motion to amend the...
I'd make a motion to amend the agenda for a second reading of ordinance number 1450.
Thank you, John. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Colleen, or motion by John, second by Colleen. Discussion? Roll call, Jim?
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Nick Recupido?
Yes.
Ralph Miller?
Yes.
Colleen Scheven?
Yes.
John Foreman?
Yes.
Richard Sharp?
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Do we now have a motion to approve 1450 for its second reading? Or to adopt 1450?
I'll make a motion to adopt, Mr. President.
Thank you, Nick.
Mhm.
You need to read it by title only.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
John, can you read by title only, please?
I'd be happy to. Town of Clear Lake, Lake County, Indiana, ordinance number 1450, an ordinance amending the schedule of fees charged by the Town of Clear Lake Metropolitan Police Department and the Town of Clear Lake Municipal Fire Department, repealing all ordinances and town code provisions or parts thereof in conflict herewith and all matters related thereto.
Thank you, John.
Okay, Mr. President, I'll make a motion to adopt this.
Motion by Nick,
I'll second.
second by Colleen. Discussion? Roll call?
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Nick Recupido?
Yes.
Ralph Miller?
Yes.
Colleen Scheven?
Yes.
John Foreman?
Yes?
Richard Sharp?
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Thank you. Thanks, Dave. Under BZA Plan, number 1, acceptance of deed from Beacon Point LLC deeding the following adjacent properties as parkland. A, Outlet D, Centennial Village Subdivision, Phase 1. B, Outlet E, Beacon Point, Unit 7. Chris?
These have been reviewed by our planning director, Ashley Abernathy, and they're ready for adoption or acceptance by the town council.
Thank you. Any questions?
So then we maintain these then at this point?
The Parks Department will.
Yeah, okay. No other questions?
Thank you, Nick.
Yep, thank you.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Colleen to accept the deed. Yeah, thank you, Colleen.
I'll second it.
Second by Ralph. Discussion? Roll call, Jim.
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Nick Recupido?
Yes.
Ralph Miller?
Yes.
Colleen Scheven?
Yes.
John Foreman?
Yes.
Richard Sharp?
Yes, motion carries 6-0. New business, bid award, 2022-02 CCMG 137th Avenue project. Chris?
So we had a bid opening for this project, I believe March 1st at 10 a.m. We had 3 bids from Site Services, Reith Riley, and Milestone, as you can see by the Christopher Burke letter. We would recommend to go with the lowest bid, which was Site Services for $192,296.33, which is a CCMG project, and our balance to be paid out of the Rose Garden Estates Fund.
Very good.
This is for the section of 131st from Parish Avenue to the railroad tracks.
137?
137th, yes.
Okay. I was gonna change
Thank you, Chris. Any questions? Roll call to approve the bid by Site Services.
I do have a question. Site services, where are they out of? I didn't see it in the...
I think they're out of Sherwood.
Griffith? Okay.
Griffith, okay.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion to approve the bid? from
I'll make a
Site-
motion to approve the bid for Site Services.
Motion
on
by Colleen.
137th Avenue.
Thanks.
I would second that motion. It looks like they won over Reith Riley by about over $40,000.
That's a substantial amount, yes. We have a motion and a second. Discussion? Roll call?
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Nick Recubido?
Yes.
Ralph Miller?
Yes.
Colleen Scheven?
Yes.
John Foreman?
Yes.
Richard Sharp?
Yes. Motion carries 6-0.
And again, thanks to Chris and the team, getting with John and Christopher Park Engineering to keep these community crossroad grants ready to go, because if it's not, road ready and we don't have engineering and stuff in place, your chances of qualifying for them are slim and none, so.
This was the, as it says on your agenda, the second round of the 2022 funding. So as of all of last year, we received just about our maximum match of $1 million. So it's our goal to strive to match the 50/50 community crossroads sector that we're in, $1 million to $1 million.
Very
You
good.
bet, and God knows we have many, many roads that have never been properly constructed that we continue to chip away at. And I hope, we continue it into the future.
Thanks, Chris. Item 2, approve use of town hall council chambers as a polling location for the May and November elections. Chris, again?
Pretty self-explanatory. I believe we do this every year. They just ask for permission to use it for both the May and November election, and it'd be my recommendation that we allow them to do so.
May 2nd and November 7th, okay?
So moved.
Motion by Bob, seconded by Colleen. Discussion?
November 7th?
November 7th, 2023.
Yeah, wow, that's my anniversary.
Oh,
Good thing.
yeah, okay.
I'll be in town.
Roll call.
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Nick Recubido?
Yes.
Ralph Miller?
Yes.
Colleen Scheven?
Yes.
John Foreman?
Yes.
Richard Sharp?
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Consider approval for pay compensation for early release on Friday due to the inclement weather. Chris, you wanna?
On Thursday, we were receiving reports that there was a snowstorm coming. That snowstorm did materialize, just a little later than expected. But with the consultation of the council president, it was my recommendation.
Pretty much started right at noon, right when we were, so I think it was excellent timing by
Just about.
a couple of bozos.
So it was I closed the town hall at noon on Friday. I know the schools had closed or did an E-Day. It was just for administrative staff, so that way the emergency services and those that were responsible for keeping the roads clear did not have to worry about our staff here.
So did the folks that left at noon, did they then work the rest of the day electronically? Is that what you're saying?
No,
They did not?
they did not.
So so they will be using their personal time or
If
not?
this is not approved.
I see.
Yeah, this is, I believe this was done 2 or 3 times last year as well, just given the certain special circumstances. One instance last year, we had AT&T doing some work out by the town hall, and they clipped a power line that shuts the power down in the building, so I sent the staff home because they could not work here. As well, there was a snowstorm last year, I believe 1 or possibly 2, again, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, where we had the same situation where we closed the town hall halfway throughout the day.
So they had no choice to stay and work?
Correct.
So they didn't get posed with, hey, if you want to leave at noon, you can, that sort of thing? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
This is the upper Midwest, we could drive on ice and snow in the future.
Safety.
I also do not want our citizens trying to make their way here to the town hall, so I wanted to not wait until Friday, so that way we can get proper notice out to the residents that we're...
I'm old-fashioned, Chris, that's all.
I know. Uphill both ways.
That's right.
Do we have a motion to approve the pay compensation?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Ralph,
I'll second.
second by Colleen. Discussion? Roll call, Jim?
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Nick Recubido?
Yes.
Ralph Miller?
Yes.
Colleen Scheven?
Yes.
John Foreman?
Because they were mandated to go home, I'll vote yes.
Richard Sharp?
Yes. Motion carries 6-0. Moving on to reports, Town Council, Mr. Carnahan.
I have a flyer here, and I hope I want to recognize the Fraternal Order of Eagles, 2529, because they're always helping out in the community. They're having Roaring 20 murder, mystery, and dinner March 25th, 2023, doors open at 5:30, no entry after 5:50. Event starts at 6, costume is optional, tickets are $40, and they can only accommodate 60 people. And you can contact the Eagles at 374-9873. Then, the next thing, March 25th, at the Lake County Fairgrounds, Lake County Solid Waste will have household hazardous waste for Lake County residents from Saturday 9 to 2. So that you can go there on the 25th in the morning and then go to the Eagles at night.
Very good. You've planned our day for us, Bob. Thank you. Any other town council reports?
Yeah, I'd like to bring up, Bob said last week at the chamber meeting, some people were asking and wondering what's happening with the dewatering facility. And as some of you may have seen, along Parish Avenue, the Dredge America has delivered, it looks like a couple of skids of a large diameter pipe, probably 20 foot in length. They're sitting just off the temporary road that we put off of Parish Avenue, where the dewatering facility, where the sludge and the slurry will end up, goes, as well as there's some staging going on at the old South Shore Country Club parking lot. And these pipes will be welded together, and then they will be floated to the south end of the lake, where they will be connected with the pipes that will go from the dewatering facility all the way along the 6,000-foot path through the swamp, alongside the old La Tulip Harbor, which is now Pinecrest Marina Creek, and the dredging will hopefully commence, or start, I should say, in the middle of April of this year. So the way it will work is they will start on the south end, they will add lengths of pipes as they continue to dredge. Some of the areas will be pieces of equipment that will be able to remove some of the hardened material that's at the bottom of the lake, and then the more fluffier stuff will be just sucked up. So there'll be two types of pieces of equipment from Dredge America there, and so it will last for multiple summers, as many of you are already aware of. But it's a monumental, and in mid-April is going to be monumental when that first piece of dredge material comes out of the lake. So we hope we get great results. We hope we can continue to raise more funds for the lake by being creative, by leaning on our state legislatures, our county, what have you. So I think there's a lot of bright days ahead, and hopefully clear waters ahead for some smooth sailing. And that's about it, Bob. You said some people were asking about it.
In public comment, if anybody has additional questions.
You bet. Feel free to ask.
Bring them up.
You bet.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thank you, John. Any other town council? I'd like to have, make a special request from Chris, if he could start a local road safety plan committee to create a plan to ensure safer travel for our roads. We've had several comments during public comment about US 41 and some intersections along US 41. And we sent a letter out to Senator Niemeyer to see if we could get some help from him in the last week or so. And there's other places around town where we could maybe work on our safer road travel. So, Chris, if you could start that, please.
Absolutely.
That's a great idea, Rick.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Moving to town attorney.
No reports.
Thanks, Dave. Clerk treasurer.
No report this evening.
Thank you, Jennifer. Chris?
I believe we've already discussed the Carmel visit. Outside of that, we're continuing to work with NERC on several of the grants we've submitted there. Their funding is more constrained than they initially thought. But again, just working to get some of our projects into their TIP, which then puts us into the mechanism of getting it funded. Outside of that, I think you hit it with the dredge project.
Very good. Thanks, Chris. Director of Operations, Mr. Kubiak.
I don't know if anybody's taken a ride by the water tower over there, and Chris Wilson's making pretty good progress, so pretty soon you'll see, that thing will be there. Saying about 1 more month it'll be erected, so pretty cool to see.
Would you also report on the lift station over there by MacArthur and the Boys and Girls Club with what's going on there?
Yep, the lift station, Saturday went out, both pumps failed, both check valves failed, and one of the valves to close it off failed, so it was probably 14 to 16 hours of zero functioning for the lift station for that neighborhood. One resident, I believe, basement got flooded. Thankfully, I believe that's all that happened at the end of the line, but we do have it, we had to bypass it 600 feet up to MacArthur to get it pumped down and get the pump back going. We were out there till like 11:30 Saturday night, like 7 or 8 guys, so it's quite a show. Rain, snowed a little, it was pretty
And
rough out there.
and I was told you're gonna rebuild that entire unit.
We do have the parts to rebuild it, and that was on our, it would have been rebuilt by now, but the one by Corky's got struck by lightning and kind of tied up our resources to get, we're just about, we got the panel, and that was just about ready to be 100% complete, and then as soon as that's done, we'll have this one going, so we'll get it redone and
Thank you.
be in good shape, so, thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Any other questions? Police Department, Chief Fisher.
We received a grant recently, for about $2,500. We'll be purchasing some ballistic shields for the back of our squad cars. The supervisors will keep, we had an incident in town last year where an officer had to negotiate for a lengthy period of time, with his only cover being a wall, with a suspect that had a weapon, so we wanted to do something that would always have a ballistic protection if should it need be, until further help can get there, so we got enough money to purchase 5 of them. 4 will go in each one of the supervisor's squad cars, and an additional one on station for it, so.
Who wrote the grant?
Would be Crown Point Community Foundation.
They wrote the grant?
Yep. Oh, Officer Machock, their Corporal Machock wrote the grant, but it was through Crown Point again.
Okay.
They're phenomenal partners, man.
Yeah.
They're wonderful people over there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep, very good. Thank you, Chief. Fire Department?
We as well received a grant. Actually, the grant was received about 6 months ago for a battery-operated horizontal ventilation fan in the tune of $5,000. We received that last Thursday in the cruiser training this week, so I'll be in service and ready to go by Thursday.
Who wrote that grant?
Myself and the chief, and it was through TC Energy.
Okay, thank you.
Very good, thank you. Grants are good, grants are good. Thank you, guys. Move to written communication, I didn't see any. Is there anything to report? None? Okay. Thank you. Public comment?
Anybody online?
No hands are raised.
No hands are raised?
Oh, wait, hang on.
Maybe so.
Hi, everybody.
Mr. Parker, how are you?
Greg Parker, 14823 Moore Street, Cedar Lake.
Yes, sir.
So, I've been living here 56 years, a little over 56 years. My parents dragged me in here, kicking and screaming literally, and I've been here ever since. And I spent some time with you folks a few years back, 12 years of it, 56 years.
Yep.
I was on the town council and the plan commission. So, I don't know if there's any Leonard Skinner fans here besides me, but
Cars died today.
Gary Rossington passed away yesterday.
Yep.
And all of my time on the town council, I'm gonna tell you, was not pleasant for me because I've been in this community a long time and I care about the community. And sometimes my head got a little hot. And the day that I left the council, I went home and had a cocktail and blasted Freebird. And I had Gary Rossington play that slide guitar for that tune.
Had my hand up.
I felt like a huge weight had been lifted off of my shoulders. I felt that way because there's a lot of responsibility that goes with being on the town council, and I felt that my time was done. Now, recently, I was reappointed to the Plan Commission. And, that last Plan Commission meeting, I saw something that concerned me. And it's you two guys are the reason why I'm standing right here tonight.
What was your concern?
I said that I believe that staff was negotiating with the developers for the east side of the lake.
Okay.
And you two guys look like you had a mouthful of canary feathers.
Incorrect. We've never had anything come to the Plan Commission whatsoever.
John, I'm aware that it hasn't come to the Plan
Yeah.
Commission. I'm also convinced, I'm confident,
Sure.
that there are being negotiations had on those developments outside of the Plan Commission.
I believe Chris already talked about that earlier today. Were you here, Greg, or not?
I didn't hear that.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything from the Plan Commission level about those developments.
We've
But I'm
not
here-
been brought anything by Chris to the Plan Commission.
Would you let me finish, please?
For sure,
I'm not here to start any trouble.
for sure.
I'm not here to make a lot of racket. I am here because the Plan Commissioners, I'm gonna tell you something, John.
Yeah.
I've heard a pastor say that one of the most valuable things that people have is time.
Okay.
When you're out of time, like Mr. Rossington, your time is done. You can't borrow more time, you can't buy more time. Your time is done.
Fact.
People come here and spend their time, get appointed to boards and commissions. They spend their time because they want to preserve and protect this community.
Yep.
If there is some sort of reverse engineering going on for these developers, or that developer in particular, I want to know about it. I want to know what's going on. And I don't feel like, I know there's something going on, but I don't feel like I've been told what's going on.
Chris, do you have any information? Because we have not been presented anything at the Plan Commission whatsoever. So,
Per our ordinance, all developers or projects are to meet with staff first to have them vetted before they come to the Plan Commission for appropriateness. There are people in this room that have done so already and have not come before the Plan Commission. So it's natural, it happens.
In my 12 years on the Plan Commission, when I was on the town council, I don't remember one time that staff negotiated with a developer before the Plan Commission saw any plans. Not one time. So is this something new? Is this
So
something
we're
new?
doing
We have a town manager, we didn't have a town manager.
Negotiation is the key word there, Greg.
that's a
I
little
don't
bit
think there's
bizarre
any
for you to make
negotiations.
accusations. If Chris and staff, I can tell you, over the last 3 years since Monastery was put up for sale, lots of people came in, talked to them. Until we had anything concrete, we never heard about anything. And to this day, we haven't had anything. People did core samples, people looked for water, they did surveying, and I only know that because I live next to that organization, or that
Gentlemen,
subdivision.
the reason why I'm so confident,
Yeah,
I watched the Plan Commission meeting.
yeah,
After I was at the Plan Commission meeting,
yeah.
I saw your reaction at the Plan Commission meeting.
I can tell you, it's
I
gonna
saw
be,
yours on YouTube.
when I saw, it doesn't matter what you think you saw, Greg, because I can tell you one thing.
I spent enough time with you guys.
That's fine, you can think what you want, but it's wrong. You know what made me sick? When I saw those trees that were cut down on the golf course a few weeks ago, okay? So I don't know anything other
Let me
than,
tell you guys something. I hope that you didn't give me a front row seat on the Plan Commission so that we were gonna get sold out for this developer. I hope that that's not the case. I really do. I've expressed my concerns. I expressed my concerns at the Plan Commission level. Other Plan Commissioners have expressed their concerns. We wanna see it. We wanna see it.
I don't know that there's anything for us to see yet. I guess when Chris has something concrete, he'll bring it to us at the Plan Commission level.
We haven't seen anything, Greg.
So, I mean, until you have a plan at the Plan Commission, it's all pie in the sky. That's it. That's it. Until it's real, it's not real. But I can tell you one thing. After yesterday's visit to Carmel, Indiana, and seeing what they've done with some of their TIP money and the redevelopment that they've done, We have lots of cool opportunities in this town to sustain it and make it good for many, many generations to go. I know you are only 56 years old, I know I'm only 55. Both of us grew up here, okay? If I recall, when we were on the Plan Commission, you're the one who negotiated with the developer called, off 141st to get $1,000 per house. And that was your idea in a public meeting, and I applauded you for that at the time. I voted, on the other hand, no on that subdivision. You voted for it. So, this is a little bit of pot calling the kettle black. You come up and try to make accusations.
John, I didn't negotiate anything by myself. I negotiated on behalf of the town council, and I was the president of the Plan Commission at the time.
Yes, sir.
I sat in a room with those guys and told them what I would like to see to help out with infrastructure.
Okay.
I didn't do anything behind anybody's back. I never did.
For sure.
Not one time.
None of us have.
And
We haven't done anything.
I'm not accusing anybody of doing anything
It
behind
sounds like
anybody's
an
back.
accusation, isn't it? Doesn't it sound like that?
I think that there's a plan that's been presented, that's what I think,
There's
and I
not,
think
Greg.
the Plan Commission hasn't seen it.
It's my backyard. There's not.
I
If
understand.
anybody has stake in this, I do.
Greg, until something comes between, or before the Plan Commission, there's no project. People can talk all they want. People can make rumors and all they want. Until we get it officially.
Colleen, have you heard anything this week about any developments?
So here's the thing, Greg, no. I have heard since this began that he was gonna build a bridge over the road, he wanted our park. I've heard so many, I mean, I know what he wants to put in there is gonna be a subdivision. That's all I know. I don't know the layout, I don't know what it looks like, I don't know anything. I heard he went and cut the trees down because an eagle tried to nest in one of them. That's what I heard, don't even know if that's true.
No, it's not.
I mean, there's so many rumors that have gone around that I don't. I mean, I'm as concerned as anybody about what's gonna happen there.
Well, I know how the rumors and concerns can get stopped, and let's see the plan.
Fact.
Right, he has to present one, we don't have anything
We
to
did
present.
just annex, Greg, through the, council,
Chris,
additional 20
you
acres.
seen the plan?
I've seen some concept plans, yes, but
You've
again,
seen some concept
I've seen
plans.
concept plans for many developments, especially the Friars.
Greg, you've seen
I've
Bay Bridge, we saw
I've
years
seen
ago.
concept plans come to the Plan Commission for years.
Right.
I haven't seen this concept plan
For what, Greg? Golf course? Bay Bridge? What are you talking about?
for any of it.
Nor have I. I sit on the Plan Commission with you. There's no backroom
We
dealings
don't,
going
we
on
just
here.
don't have any.
Until it comes to the Plan Commission, there's nothing official. You and I could talk about buying a piece of property in this town and give 10 different reasons why and how we want to chop it up and do what we want with it. We own it. We can even cut every tree down. But until we bring it to the Plan Commission, it's you and I talking hearsay. And you know that from being a councilman all these years. Until we see it at the Planning Commission, we don't know anything. In fact, I'll tell you, I sent a link to Carmel's website to a couple people on the Planning Commission this morning, because I think that website shows some cool TIF areas, and it shows how much money the schools get, what it did for the city. Rather than just get $1,000 a rooftop, how do you turn that 5 acres or 50 acres or 100 acres into multi-millions of dollars for the taxpayers once that TIF bond expires? And those are the kinds of unique thinkings and things that we need to be thinking about here, rather than just have a parking lot, or rather than just have X dollars per rooftop, like was negotiated by yourself when we all were on the Plan Commission. And for
What
1 hour.
did we do before that?
And that
John?
money
John, what did we do before that? What did we do before that?
What did we do?
For every development, what did we do before that? Did we get anything?
No,
Ever?
most of it was done pre-2008, prior to you and I ever sitting up.
That I agree with you on. But we've gotten some decent developments. I just want to see, I'm not trying to attack you guys. I want to make sure that we're going to continue to get decent developments.
For sure.
Not itty-bitty lots, so the developers can make tons of money and move on. And honestly, I said I wasn't going to lose my temper tonight.
Sure. We're debating, that's fine. I respect your.
I'm 100% with you, I don't wanna see tiny lots. I don't wanna see them anywhere in town myself. Not that I can steer it by myself, but that's my opinion.
All right. I don't have anything else to say.
Thank you. Thank you, Greg.
Mr. President, can we go ahead to the public comment on Zoom?
Yes, we may. Who is it, Ken?
It's Mr. Wilkening?
Miss-
Mr. Jerry Wilkening?
Mr. Jerry Wilkening?
Mr. Rick Sharp, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, excellent. Hey, I just had a couple of questions. I heard some of the same things Mr. Parker heard, and they weren't from Mr. Parker. The trees in the golf course that are gone, John, I would consider those nothing but a distraction, considering everything that's going on in the east end of town and the west end of town. The other thing was that, Mr. Salatas, who has the authority to pull down these YouTube videos after the fact?
The town does not remove its own YouTube videos.
I can't hear you, right?
We don't pull them down.
Yeah, once they're uploaded to the YouTube, they stay there. Town does not remove its YouTube videos.
Who's responsible for making sure they get uploaded?
Our IT director, has them uploaded to YouTube,
I think it's automatic.
automatically.
And if
Please,
Chris on, he
on
can
here.
speak, because
Okay.
we live stream everything, so as soon as the meeting's over and the Zoom recording is finished, I'd say within a few moments, you should be able to go right back to YouTube and click it right up.
Okay, I just want to make sure, I don't want anybody to miss some of the things I've seen at the last planning commission meetings and everybody talking over each other at these council meetings. It's a little concerning. I haven't been in the room in a while, and I would have been there tonight. However, it just didn't work out. But the Zooming thing's kind of cool. I know why you use it all the time, John. It's
Yep.
excellent.
It works well, Jerry.
I think, you know, these concept plans that, staff does get to look at should be shared, even, if not in totality, should be shared somewhat. I'm quite certain that, the property behind Colleen Schreiben's house will be, super deluxe. And my hunch is that boats will travel from there to the lake someday, just my hunch. And the, you know, monastery, property, other than turning into a snow cross track, I wish I knew what was going on with that. So, anyway, I have no more questions, but I wanted to make sure that, who or no one had the right to pull down these, YouTube videos as, the people who should be seeing them aren't in the room right now. So, you all have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Thanks, Jerry.
The YouTube live stream records immediately. I mean, a person that came on to the council meeting late, or even a planning commission meeting late, they can start it from the beginning and not go live. It's immediate.
Okay.
So, and it doesn't get pulled down at all, they stay up there.
It's a public document at that point.
Thanks,
We even pay for social archiving to ensure that it doesn't go anywhere.
Got it. Very good. Thank you. Any other public comment?
Mary Joan Dixon, 8711 West 132nd Place.
Yes.
There's been an opening on the Plan Commission for a Democratic seat. Have you done any activity of trying to replace that person and put that fill that position, excuse me?
I think we had one person, but we thought we had one person, but then they declined. They couldn't.
So out of the applications you got in December and January, when the ones that submitted originally, none of them want to be on the Plan Commission? You advertised for...
I'm not sure. I don't recall.
I don't have that list right.
No, I don't
right now.
expect you to. I'm just saying, could you, go back and look at that list of people?
We will.
who applied?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
And I think we have. We will again. Certainly. This is the latest.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. Public comment? Going once? Going once?
Terry.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Terry Broaders, 14513 Morse. I not live, but I own the property across the street from the vacated trees golf course. As I listen to Mr. Parker, he brings up some great points. one of the things that wasn't mentioned on record, I just wanted to get on record, the zoning to that property as we stand, or as it stood when I purchased my property a year ago, it was R1, which requires 15,000 square feet of land to build your houses. And
The golf course, you're talking
yes, we're talking about the
Yeah,
golf
he's the golf
yeah.
course. He runs the old Dards Laundromat.
And so my question I had, and I know you're not obligated to answer questions, I know that it's not your job to answer a responder's questions, but I do pose a couple questions. One of them is that, who is responsible for allowing a zoning change, right? That would take place, it would have to go before the planning and zoning board, correct? And then eventually, for zoning change from R1, anything else would have to come before this board. Now, if he wanted to change anything from R1 or going down to R2, it would go down to 10,000 square foot per lot, which would increase a number of homes, which again, I think Mr. Parker mentioned that the only one that benefits there is the developer, and I have no ill will towards the developer. I hope he builds beautiful homes across the street from where I'm at. I think it's gonna benefit. I would have much rather had the golf course. I'm just taking up golf. But I think it's gonna benefit. I mean, it's better than looking at a grown-in piece of vacant land, obviously. But my second question would be then, if you guys are responsible for that, changing it from R1 to an R2 or anything else to increase the amount of homes on that property, would anybody like to tonight go on record and say they would vote against that? If it does come before the board to change from R1 15,000 square feet and decrease the amount of homes, or increase the amount of homes on the lot. So my question is, would anybody like to go on the record tonight, before the election coming up, before any of that,
I am
and
not
say that,
until I
let
see
me
a
finish,
plan.
please.
That's a total theoretical question.
Hold on, if I could please finish.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just wondering if anybody would like to express their opinion and go on the record tonight on how they would vote if they did come before the board with a change from R1, R2, or any other zoning. Now, I've heard a lot of opinion, but would anybody like to go on the record and state their opinion officially right now? Thank you.
I'm not gonna state an opinion on hypothetical stuff.
I'll state an opinion. I ran a campaign on proper planning, and I've been against high density for 6 years. I've been on the BZA. What little I could have effect on it, I did. And so I'll go on the record and say that if that property is zoned R1, I don't know what reason to change the zoning on that. There'd have to be a really good reason, and I just don't see one.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
I agree with Nick.
Thank you, Mr. Carter.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
Cheryl Parker, 7227 West 136th Court. I
Yes.
have, with all the building that everybody's talking about on the east side, I know a lot of us homeowners are very concerned. We have private wells. You are going to have many, many homes going in down the future, even if there's no plans right now. But looking forward, how is this going to impact, and who's watching, if anybody is, how all of these homes that are going up, how is that going to affect our water supply?
I could tell you, last summer, another 43 houses, wells went dry. Summer before, or two, my well went dry.
You're on the west side.
I'm on the west side though, but.
I'm talking about the east side.
What, I'm getting there. And so we had drought 2 years ago, and we had another terrible drought this year. Even Cedar Lake levels were at an all-time low. From the water engineers that I've spoken to here, they don't believe that there's any correlation between that water tower on the west side and my well going dry. So I had to drill a new well and a deeper well to find a different aquifer. On the east side, as you know, we've recently purchased the lighthouse well, and we're staging some pipe there for water. We're gonna run them down Morris and try to tie in, tie into Robin's Nest water. Because that water pressure is not sufficient for any more homes, if you will, in Lakeside and or fighting fires. Nick and Chief Wolfney can attest to that. So thus, we're building a water tower
And Lakeside is
over
also
near the back of the subdivision across the street from Bob, Crystal Oaks.
Okay.
So you may or may not know that that's being constructed
Yes,
as
I
we
do.
speak.
Lakeside can only build 54 homes. And then once they get this water, they'll be able to construct the other 146 that's already been approved by us.
I read that in the minutes.
So Cheryl, without more water pressure and good water, there is no growth to this community. That's the truth of the matter.
Okay, but are the reports that we look at, do we have any experts coming in
We have
saying,
engineers.
what's the impact of these subdivisions going in?
The
So
impact
before
is
they go
not related to these folks that have small 100-plus foot wells, because they're going down 300.
in. Well, those are the deep wells.
That's what the engineers are telling us, to answer your question. Yes.
Okay,
But we have looked at it, yes.
yeah, that was
Yet
my
some
question.
people that you know-
Who's monitoring that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Our water
They are,
engineer,
they are,
Neese
yes.
Engineering is working to monitor that, and there's no correlation. As odd as it sounds, there isn't. We've had a drought 3 years
Well,
ago.
some of the studies that
and
I
this past
read
year.
from University of Wisconsin,
Uh-huh.
addressing, residential subdivisions going in to what we would be considered kind of rural areas here, because we're all on private wells.
Right.
And their studies indicate something other than that, so that's what I was asking.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes, sir.
Is the president.
What about the well they just punched over on the Brunt Farm? I didn't hear you say anything about that one.
Greg, I don't know what got punched where. I just know that there's water exploration going on for the last
A
2
lot
or
of
3
places,
years
yeah.
in a lot of places. Chris, any comments?
It's a private well right now, drilled by a private developer on private land. We're concerned about the well at the Robin's Nest and the well here by, what we call WPA, the Lighthouse Well.
Yeah. And since Mr. Parker brought that up, that area years ago got the zone changed to RM, RT, and B1, I think. So, when you change zoning for people, your hands are tied behind your back. They can take that RM and do anything they want with that RM per our subdivision control ordinance. Thus, the importance of making good decisions, no matter what the parcel of property is.
I might ask one more question on the well.
Yes, President.
I'm a little bit new at this. For getting information on a well, or an established well, a dug well, a well in use, is it standard in the state of Indiana that you can get them records from the health department? The county health department?
I don't know the
Do they have
answer.
on file records of the
We don't
well?
keep records of private wells, we only keep our own records of our,
But when they dig it, don't they have to have submittal and have passed inspection through the health department for water testing and quality?
believed to the health department, but not to the town.
Not in Indiana?
IDEM monitors all the wells, they report all wells to.
So when you're digging a new one, do you have to file, in a sense, a permit application in a sense, so you go
Yeah,
through?
you file it in when you abandon it, yeah.
Actually.
So there are records
I have those,
available
yeah,
then? There are.
Complete reports, you can go
Thank
online
you,
and
Mr. President.
you can see all of
Thank
it.
you.
You can even zero in on certain areas and see all.
Do we have
the-
any additional public comment? Public comment? Public comment? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned. The next meeting will be Tuesday, March